What more has to come? Aditya. Okay. What is meant by, or let us recall something about that previous part. What happened to Germany after the First World War?
So Germany was on the brink of victory in the First World War, but then because of the entry of the US, Germany was not able to cope up with the pace of the war and they lost. Then a harsh treaty known as the Treaty of Versailles was imposed on them, which made them give a good part of their territory. Uh, some place which I name forgot. They had some important ores, gold oases.
And gold mines,
And gold military power was it was taken away from.
Star gold. Right? And they had to pay.
The people who came into power after the First World War, the Weimar Republic.
Yes.
They were the ones who were blamed for accepting this treaty and were also called as November.
Okay. So then afterwards, what were the conditions paved the way for the rise of Hitler? We have studied. Economic conditions we have studied. So then he became popular through his activities and people began to believe him as the Messiah who come to save the nation from all these problems. Now, once he come to power, he wanted to improve the economic condition of Germany. For that purpose, he appointed a person. What was the name of that person? Sargent. Hjalmar Sargent. Underline that name. Hjalmar Sargent. He was an economist. And what was his aim? His objective was what? Full production and full employment. Underline these points also. Hjalmar Sargent's aim was full production and full employment. Okay, got it? Now for that purpose, what he did, he introduced a new program. One is super highways of Germany and Volkswagen. Understood? So what were the two projects he introduced? Super highways and Volkswagen. Volkswagen, have you heard about this one?
So started by the government.
So
and it is private or registered.
But this Volkswagen vehicle is very popular, very important. So now also the name is there. Even though it is not in use, it is having a name. That was the vehicle introduced in order to provide employment to large masses. So their objective was to create jobs. So for creating jobs, two works he had done. One is to construct roads so that everyone will get employment. If roads are constructed, that vehicles are also required. So factories to make this vehicles. What was the name? Volkswagen. Okay. These all things you understood? Hjalmar Sargent, full employment and full production. Second is that super highways and Volkswagen. Now the foreign policy also Hitler acquired quick successes. He pulled out of the League of Nations. What is League of Nations? So after the First World War, one organization was set up to prevent future wars.
After World War II.
That NATO, no.
Oh,
UN, no.
Like
No, NATO is another thing, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, but UN replaced that League of Nations. League of Nations failed. That is why Second World War had taken place. So, realizing the unpopularity of this League of Nations, Hitler withdrew from League of Nations. Once it withdraw, its aim is to re-militarize it. We have seen earlier the strength of the army was reduced to 1 lakh. Now within no time, 8 lakh. So that way, they have started remilitarizing Germany. Got it? Then, afterwards, what he did, he in 1936, he attacked or he invaded Austria. That was the beginning of his conquest. 1936, he invaded Austria. Then, what was the objective of conquering Austria? So that because Australia and Germany are very similar identities, he wanted to bring Australia directly under Australia, no, Austria. Australia directly under his power. So what was that? One slogan was there. Underline that slogan: one people, one empire, and one leader. That was the slogan. They were kind of the same. Actually, when this one 10th standard, you will have that nationalism in Europe. There, German unification is there. Unification of Germany. So that part, Austria is also coming. So Austria was belonging to Germany, or German population was there. So his slogan was one people, one nation, one leader. Underline that this thing. Okay. Then afterwards, what he did, he attacked one place known as Sudetenland. Do you want to read? Sudetenland. That is, Sudetenland is the land, a small region, which was very important for armaments. That is, weapon factory in the world. So this Sudetenland is on the way to Czechoslovakia. Have you heard about Czechoslovakia? So in order to gobble up Czechoslovakia, first he invaded Sudetenland. So he thought that by conquering Sudetenland, he will get control of this major armament factory or control of weapons. So that is why he conquered Sudetenland. Then he conquered Czechoslovakia. So one after another, he started that conquering the places. This was in 1938, I think so. And gobbled up the entire country. In all this, he had the unspoken support of England, which had considered the Versailles verdict too harsh. So that time they have followed a policy of appeasement. So this is a policy. Have you heard about appeasement? Appeasement is a policy by considering this one country's conquest on the other. That is, okay, let them conquer. That way, why they had this attitude, they thought that the Treaty of Versailles was very harsh. So now, let them conquer. That attitude. Conciliating one country at the cost of other. Come. Very fast, you see. So, what is the, you just, if you want the definition, you write this one. Conciliating, appeasement definition. Conciliating one country, conciliating one country at the cost of others. What is that? One example I'll tell you. Say here, the intention of Germany was to conquer Czechoslovakia. Okay? Czechoslovakia was to be conquered and occupied. That blindly supporting the actions of a big power, especially Germany. Did you, Adarsh, you understood? Yes. So without that openly supporting, blindly they were supporting that activities of Germany. That was known as appeasement. So Second World War, one reason was that appeasement policy of Britain and France. If they would have stopped France from doing that, Second World War would not have taken place.
But what does Czechoslovakia have to do with Britain?
Czechoslovakia, nothing have to do. But the problem is that you just think about one example I am telling. During the Second World War, Japan was coming to the northeastern border of India. Northeastern border of India. So after that, if it was advancing, India would have been taken under the control of Japan. If that happened, we would have passed into the hands of another Asian countries. So this way, blindly supporting whatever activities of that conquering powers, that is called. So nothing they will gain or lose. But this way, if they allow blindly, what is going to happen? All the countries would be conquered by Germany. And then they will come for return. Understood?
No, I don't ask that. If Britain did not support them with weapons, they did not support them by giving them plans of attacking or like giving money, funds.
Britain and France were the superpowers at that time. After Second World War, America came. America and Russia took up that role. Till the Second World War, Britain and France. So these two countries could have done, that is, could have prevented this advance of Germany.
But why would they do so?
That is what the policy of appeasement.
Because they didn't see Germany as a threat. They thought that it is conquering a country which does not matter to us and it will only be good as we have done bad things.
That may be one reason, but the most important reason was that they were repenting on that harsh treaty.
They felt that we have done something wrong. So it is as a gift of
so
apology.
They thought that okay, because we conquer that they will keep quiet.
But that also it is a small country, doesn't matter.
But after conquering that, it moved towards Poland. It moved towards another countries. So that they underestimated. That is. Have you got the point? Akash? Yes. Now, who will continue reading? You read, start reading. That part. No. This page 72. These cute successors. No. Yeah, this you. No. You are like stupid, huh? This part.
The resources were to be accumulated through expansion of territories. In September 1939, Germany invaded Poland. They started a war with France and England. In September 1940, a tripartite pact was signed between.
These all points you underline. It's very important. 1939 September, Germany invaded Poland. That was the beginning of started in September 1939. So with the invasion on Poland. Then afterwards, with the France and England, that is later on. That is a declaration of war will be taken place.
The tripartite pact was signed between Germany, Italy, and Japan.
Underline which were the alliances formed during the Second World War. One alliance was that tripartite alliance of Germany, Italy, and Japan, which was known as Axis powers. This is coming for map also. This is coming. Axis powers. Aditya, just write this one map question also. Who are the members or who are the parties of the Axis powers? Germany, Italy, and Japan. Or Rome.
Also chapter number 2.
Chapter that is triple alliance and triple alliance.
Still it comes on back, please.
That is different. There, the group members were different. Second World War, the members were different. All the three chapters maps are coming.
What happened to the Ottoman dynasty?
Ottoman Empire is completely dismembered. Only Turkey was remaining.
During Second World War?
No,
before?
First World, after First World War.
So they have no role in
No role.
strengthening Hitler's claim to international power. Puppet regimes supportive of Nazi Germany were installed in a large part of Europe. By the end of 1940, Hitler was at the pinnacle of his power. Hitler now moved to achieve his long-term aim of conquering Eastern Europe.
This one, after you see that it started with Austria. What was the aim? One people, one nation, and one leader. Okay. Austria was conquered. Afterwards, he moved to Sudetenland. Then he conquered Czechoslovakia. After that, he moved to Poland. Then, 1940, his ambition. That was the historic blunder he committed. Understood? But you have to remember earlier, anti-aggression pact was signed between Germany and the Soviet Union. Then also they invaded Soviet Union. Okay.
Eastern Europe. He wanted to ensure food supplies and living space for Germans.
What was the objective of his conquest?
To
Get food supplies and living space. That is, there is a term called Lebensraum. Lebensraum. Have you seen? Is there no Lebensraum? Lebensraum is the living space. That part is, it is there, no, that paragraph? No? Because that, later part it is given. Lebensraum is here. Lebensraum is there later. Okay.
He attacked the Soviet Union in June 1941.
When this invasion on the Soviet Union taken place? 1941 June. Underline the date. Aditya. Underline the.
In this historic blunder, Hitler exposed the German Western Front to British aerial bombing and the
So his armies were divided into two. Eastern Front have moved to Soviet Union and Western Front at that time air attack of which country? Britain. Got it?
In this historic blunder, the Soviet Red Army inflicting a crushing and
Underline. What was the name of that Soviet army? Soviet Red Army.
Inflicting a crushing and humiliating defeat on Germany at Stalingrad. After
Where
this,
they have defeated Stalingrad.
After this, the Soviet Red Army hounded out the retreating German soldiers until they reached the heart of Berlin.
You just see that, imagine. They were pushed back as much as they can, that is to Berlin. That is through Czechoslovakia and other countries, they were pushed back to Berlin. That was the reason for the defeat of Germany. Actually, Soviet Union defeated Germany. That is why Second World War had this turn. Okay. Okay.
Establishing Soviet hegemony over the entire Eastern Europe for half a century thereafter.
After that is Germany, Soviet Union was responsible for the defeat of Germany. That is why everyone accepted Soviet Union as a powerful country. So that is why Soviet hegemony could be seen for about 50 years after this. Okay. Now next one. You continue afterwards, next part.
Meanwhile, the USA had resisted involvement in the war. It was unwilling to once again face all the economic problems that the First World War had caused. But it could not stay out of the war for long. Japan was extending its power in the east. It occupied French Indochina and was planning attacks on US naval bases in the Pacific. When Japan extended its support to Hitler and bombed the US base at Pearl Harbor, the US entered the Second World War. The war ended in May 1945 with Hitler's defeat and the US dropping a bomb on Hiroshima in Japan. From this very
Okay. So here the picture was very clear that is, the war was now confined to Europe only. But Japan, which was an island country in Pacific, it was having that small country was expanding towards the east. It started conquering that Indochina. Indochina, which country is there? Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam. Then it moved towards that China, Manchuria's part. So like that, it expanded. Then it come to that Singapore and all that region. On its way, it thought that, okay, US naval base is there in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii Islands. Hawaii Islands, that is Pearl Harbor. You just underline that Pearl Harbor. US naval base was there in Pearl Harbor. But 2,000 ships and so many other what is that powerful airways also there stationed there. Now Japan thought that, okay, naval station. That was the blunder committed by Japan. Till that time, USA was not a party in the war, not interested, because after crossing Atlantic, it was not having any interest in coming and interfering, because First World War, only for a few months, it taught them a big lesson, because after the First World War, it had to face economic problems. So they don't wanted to experience such a problem. But now in 1941, December 7th, the Pearl Harbor incident, that date if you want, you can write 1941, December 7th. So that was the Pearl Harbor attack. And on 8th December, USA declared war on Japan. Okay. So what instigated the US to enter into that war?
Bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor. So that what Japan did, Japan attacked that this naval station. But two powerful shipbuilding centers were there. Means rebuilding centers. that was not completely destroyed, not completely damaged. So within no time, America reconstructed and brought back into the normal condition. Understood? That was the revenge USA took on Japan. Otherwise, the war was ended in May 1945. But why it dropped atom bombs in August 1945? So, the revenge that USA was having on destroying that naval base. Everyone used to question America why you did like that, because already the war ended with the surrender of Germany. So why? It was hardly a matter of that a few months only Japan also would surrender. Ego, not only ego, you just imagine how many ships, how much, 3,000 people were also killed. So this all things made America angry. So it entered into war with Japan, and that turned the tide of the war. Okay. So we are not going to discuss so much about the events of the war because that is not a matter we are learning about Hitler.
Ma'am, I had a doubt. I had confusion in I don't know in which World War, but America was taking supplies to France and England, and the Germans would send submarine. Because of which so many million
128 people of America died.
And they also had to put every time military ships to transport goods. So,
that was first war. Up to 1917, America did not enter. So 1917 only you got that ship. Only 128 people died, but that was also a great loss for America. So it entered the first world. Clear? Now next part.
The Nazis, from this brief account of what happened in the Second World War, the Nazi worldview. The crimes that the Nazis committed were linked to a system of belief and a set of practices.
So underline what is that? It was linked to a system of belief and set of practices. It was the belief they had. That means a kind of view they were having. And that belief, as well as they had a concept about the world, how the world population is there. So that is what the meaning.
Nazi ideology was synonymous with Hitler's worldview. According to this, there was no equality between people, but only a racial hierarchy.
What was his belief? Only racial hierarchy. Hierarchy means the level. That means high and low like that. That term you underline, racial hierarchy.
In this view, blue-eyed, Nordic German Aryans were at the top, while Jews were located at the lowest rung.
So who were at the top? Blonde, blue-eyed, Nordic German Aryans.
Nordic is
No, not that is Nordic is a race. Understood? Hematic, Semitic, like that. Old this one study of that anthropology. That means human evolution. So they belong to that Nordic race. What was that? Blonde, blue-eyed Nordic Aryans on the top. And who was at the bottom? Jews.
They came to be regarded as an anti-race, the arch enemies of the Aryans.
So what do Jews were considered as? Anti-race and arch enemies of the Aryans. Are you underlining? Because that from any part the question can be asked. That is why I am making you to read that.
All other colored people were placed in between depending on their external features. Fitness racism borrowed from thinkers like Charles Darwin and Herbert Spencer.
So who were the thinkers? Aditya, you just name
Charles Darwin.
Herbert Spencer. What were their views? Have you heard about them?
Like Charles Darwin, I think so. He wrote
Theory of evolution.
yes, and Herbert Spencer says survival of the fittest.
Ah,
So Hitler added the point that I would there. I don't know how it is related to him hating the Jews, but
and one way it is correct. His question is also correct. But I am also still confused about that theory of evolution. How is it applicable to that human being? No? Evolution is only. So he connected that one. So his theory was connected to Charles Darwin's theory of evolution and Herbert Spencer's theory of the survival of the fittest.
Darwin was a natural scientist who tried to explain the creation of plants and animals through the concept of evolution and natural selection.
Evolution and natural selection.
Herbert Spencer later added the idea of survival of the fittest. According to this idea, only those species survived on Earth that could adapt themselves to changing climatic conditions.
This point is important. Why? Say only those who, you just imagine, two of you are fighting. So what is that? Sometimes he may look thin, but he may have that some kind of fighting power. So he may defeat you. So that is what those who are having the capacity to survive all the odds will only remain in the struggle for survival. That is what the theory he added. Did you get it?
We should bear in mind that Darwin never advocated human intervention in what
You tell
In
that.
what he thought was a purely natural process of selection.
What is that? A
So-
natural process of selection.
so here it said that Darwin was not at fault for Hitler believing. मतलब वही मतलब है ना? The meaning of that line.
Hitler adopted this concept for his expansion goals.
Basically, Darwin gave this for different species and how they survive. Whereas Hitler took it for humans and said how we are superior.
Yes, that is racial superiority he wanted to make. Got it? Got the points?
However, his ideas were used by racist thinkers, politicians.
But this one, when we study about the colonization, imperialism and all, those people have always used this method. They are having the superiority complex. So others are considered as inferiors and then they imposed the rule on the inferior.
The Aryan race was the finest. It had to retain its purity, become stronger, and dominate the world.
They claimed, or he claimed that Aryan race is the finest, and they have to retain its purity and to become stronger and powerful. Underline this point. So they are the pure race, and that purity have to be maintained, and they have to continue to make it more strong. That is why he conquered. Your question was he only asked, that is what is to do with Czechoslovakia and all. So this was the concept behind. So he believed that he had the right to do.
And so you would kill all the people in the other country.
Not only killing, eliminating completely.
All the people who did not belong to the mother country.
Okay, you got it. Now next to come is next.
Was Hitler a Nordic German Aryan?
That is also a big question mark because he actually belongs to Austria and he migrated to Germany. And by seeing the structure, it's Nordic Aryans are very much tall and hefty people. But looking at this Hitler, he is a short person.
So he did not have blonde hair and neither did he have blue eyes.
Yes, correct.
He did not qualify for any of this.
But still, he claimed, he boasted that.
Probably it was to target the majority of the Germans to make them feel that we are superior. The other aspect of Hitler's ideology related to the geopolitical concept of Lebensraum.
Geopolitical concept of Lebensraum. Geopolitical. What is that? Biological or geographic? Sorry, biological. No, bio. I did not use. Geopolitical, geographical, and political expansion. Okay, geographical and political expansion. What was the idea called the Lebensraum? Lebensraum means living space. That one word, this thing you have to.
He believed that.
Have you marked?
He believed that new territories had to be acquired for settlement. This would enhance the area of the mother country by enabling the settlers for new lands to retain an intimate link with the place of their origin.
That is what the expansion is inevitable. The people have to be expanded to new region and to retain their connection with their mother country. So nearby areas have to be occupied and people have to settle in that land and to retain their relationship with their mother country. That means Germany. That is why he wanted to expand to other regions. Got it clear?
But even if Germany had succeeded to the point where it was about to totally capture Britain, France, and all that, America would have eventually realized that after capturing all of Europe, it would eventually comfort them, so even they would have taken part in the war.
See, it was when we study about the Second World War, it was very interesting. I did not tell that interesting part of this war. See, 1939 September, the war started. That war started by attacking which territory? Poland. So September 1st it happened. And September 3rd, Britain and France declared war on Germany. Then 4th, that is one more country also declared war on. In spite of the declaration of war, nothing happened. Germany was continuously conquering the places. That is very fast. It conquered Denmark, Sweden, all the European countries it conquered and reached up till France. That is 20 kilometers from Paris. Up to that much it reached. Then only Britain and France realized something is happening. So, at a great speed and fastness, the war had taken place. So, initial stage, I have told you declaration of war. So, that stage was called as phony war. Just hello, hi, we are declaring war on you. That much only happened in the initial stage. Germany did not mind it and it conquered with great speed. So that is why that stage is called as lightning war, blitzkrieg. How lightning strike? Can you imagine that is this lightning is coming like that? We cannot wait. There is no waiting time. The same way, Germany invaded and conquered up to that is 20 kilometers from the capital city. Then they got up. Now what to do? They started calling for help from Britain. So by the time Britain started air attack. Sorry, Germany also sent its air. That means what is that? Airplanes for attacking, but this one was America. Sorry, Britain's air planes were superior. They have little more advanced. So suddenly, this Hitler thought that we have to move to Soviet Union. Why we have to stay back here? So one army was sent to Soviet Union.
Oh, so
That
they
is
did not
why.
think of them as a
By the time America thought that is 1941, we have seen that combined forces of America, Britain, and France formed at Normandy. So these three combined army, that means combined forces, advanced further to defeat Germany. Germany from there, it was returning back here from the west, they were reaching to that. So together, these forces could defeat. So when we study about that interesting events of that war, we think that how this Hitler, this short person, managed this. Because he was not having that correct estimation of the power these countries were having. They were quiet because they were following the policy of appeasement. They were quiet for some time. But this was taken for granted and attacked. So the effect of that, Second World War, Germany did not get that advances after 1940 June. Up to that much, 1939 to 1940 June, okay, Germany was having superior might. Afterwards, it was getting failures and failures and failures. Okay. Levenstrom completed?
yes.
Now your turn. See, all the sources and all you have to read and use. Now, racial state, how it was introduced.
Okay, establishment of the racial state.
Ah.
Once in power, the Nazis quickly began to implement their dream of creating an exclusive racial community of pure Germans by physically eliminating all those who were seen as undesirable.
So first thing the Hitler did was to eliminate all undesirables. In order to create that pure ideal community, eliminating all undesirables. So we know that of course Jews were undesirables. Then all those who are physically unfit, they were also considered as undesirable. Then we know that the people in Poland and the nearby locality were exactly looking like the German soldiers. So one physical examination was conducted and they find that they are Polish people, means they were eliminated. If they have some doubt they are of German origin, they were given land in the conquered areas. So this way, the undesirable people were eliminated. Okay, continue.
In the extended empire, Nazis wanted only a society of pure and healthy Nordic Aryans. They alone were considered desirable. Only they were seen as worthy of prospering and multiplying against all others who were classed as undesirable. This meant that even those Germans who were seen as impure or abnormal had no right to exist.
So impure and what is that, abnormal. Those who are physically handicapped and not having that mental fitness, they were also considered as undesirable.
Under the euthanasia program.
What is euthanasia? Euthanasia is that program of sending that Jews to concentration camps.
Helmut's father, along with other Nazi officials, had condemned the death.
Remember who was Helmut?
Yes, at the starting of the
Ah,
story. He was a
11-year-old boy. His father was the doctor. So Helmut's father was involved in that euthanasia plot.
Helmut's father, along with other Nazi officials, had condemned to death many Germans who were considered mentally or physically unfit. Jews were not only the only community classified as undesirable. There were others. Many gypsies and blacks living in Nazi Germany were considered as racial inferiors who threatened the biological purity of the superior Aryan race. They were widely persecuted. Even Russians and Poles were considered subhuman.
See, you see that these people, by looking, there was no differences. When you are looking at the German population and Polish population and even that Russian people, we cannot identify who is that German and all. Only when they speak that language, German language. But here, as a doctor, this Helmut's father and all did some examination and then separated them. So who were the people? Jews were there, blacks were there, gypsies were there, and even Russians and Polish people.
And hence unserving undeserving of any humanity. When Germany occupied Poland and parts of Russia, captured civilians were forced to work as slave labor. Many of them died simply through hard work and starvation. Jews remained the worst sufferers in Nazi Germany. Nazi hatred of Jews had a precursor.
Precursor. See, did I tell the story about the little boy? God, so that is what enmity they were having with the Jews. So one of the reason is that killers of Jesus. Another one is that they were considered as that usurers. Usurers means one who lent money for interest, high interest. Okay.
In the traditional Christian hostility towards Jews, they had been stereotyped as killers of Christ and usurers. Until medieval times, Jews were barred from owning land. They survived mainly through trade and money lending. They lived in separately marked areas called ghettos.
What is ghettos? Ghetto, that meaning is given in the green part. You just learn that definition. Ghetto is not given. Okay, let's see. Ghetto. The separately marked areas where Jews were made to live is called a ghetto. You just write. The separately marked area.
So when they were basically given the untouchable treatment.
That is it. Separately marked area where Jews were made to live. Okay, so ghetto, you understood?
They were often persecuted through periodic organized violence and expulsion from the land.
So where they were living or where they used to cultivate or like that, from there they were expelled. so isolated them. They were not having any connection with the other people. They cannot help the people also if they want. So that way, completely isolated. So you just imagine the life of those people. Other people are not allowed to talk or allowed to have any connection with them.
I think I have an idea why they are hated Jews. Maybe Jewish kid bullied him as a kid and now he wants revenge on the entire race.
Okay. Maybe. But see, these Jews were considered as highly intellectual group. So he was having a kind of jealousy on this intellect. Yes, what happened? Huh?
So it's important.
Huh?
But I said,
Did you go to a doctor? I have told you to consult doctor for this.
no, he said that was just boredom.
Because of so this what he told is that maybe he was bullied. That we can guess one of the reason, but mainly it was not the reason. See, these people, the Jewish people, were very much intelligent group. They only, we know that Albert Einstein and all belong to the Jewish community. They discovered so many new theories as well as even bomb was also made by them. So this concept was not acceptable for Hitler. That would be the reason. Because that intellect.
Oh, because they are living with us, so they are doing the same thing as us, they're eating the same thing as us, how can they be smarter than us?
Okay.
Was Hitler like Christian? That he was a Christian, but what type of Christianity? Like in Russia, it is shown that
Orthodox.
yes.
But
Like what is the difference between all those like
Orthodox
and
the Orthodox Christianity is from that Protestant type. The first one was Roman Catholic. You might have heard about the Roman Catholic Pope and all as the head. So this Roman Catholic religion was having so many type of evils. So in order to reform that, there was a movement started by Martin Luther. From Germany, only he started that. So he might be a follower of that Martin Luther. Understood? That is Protestant movement. So they did not believe in that kind of normal practices and all evils which are corrupting the Roman Catholics. So all those groups, that Orthodox Church and all belong to this Protestant idea.
yeah, however, Hitler's hatred of Jews was based on pseudo-scientific theories of race.
Underline this one, pseudo-scientific theories of race, which held that
Which held that conversion was no solution to the Jewish problem. It could be solved only through the total elimination.
see, we know that there is a process of conversion. That means they converted to other group. So by converting the Jews becoming a Christian cannot solve the problem. That is what Hitler believed. If they are becoming Christians also, that problem is not going to be solved. He believed that completely Jews to be eliminated.
So Judaism is a different.
Judaism, that religion is called Judaism, not Jewism. Jewish people believed in Judaism. That was the religion. Okay.
So why were they shown in Christianity like
No, they
the वो किधर से आया in Christianity?
I have told the story, but you knew it.
Like they were the killers of Christ, and so that's why.
Oh, they are the same against.
They did not believe in Jesus Christ. Okay, Christians believed in Jesus Christ. They did not believe in.
And so that's why.
Okay.
Ransom is 613 commandments. 13 commandments, I guess.
Commandments.
Yes.
From 1930.
See, all the commandments, both the Christians and this one, Judaism have 10 commandments.
After doing this, they have to place it.
That is, they still believing that old this thing commandments.
Very strict.
Very strict.
Christianity, I think there is only 10.
10 commandments, and out of that 10, it is made into 2. Love your this thing, neighbors, and or only based on that love. Love your God, respect your God, like that. They confined. But that one, not to eat so and so things, not to do this one, and so many such restrictions are there. But the Christianity is not having that restrictions because Jesus Christ is crucified for them. So all those kind of demarcation of the world is now collapsed. That is what the Christians believe. Okay.
From 1933 to 1938, the Nazis terrorized, pauperized, and segregated the Jews. Completely have to leave the country.
Next to page, it is given that in 1933 to 38, pictures are given. You see that steps. Steps to that. Okay. That was 33 to 39, then 40 to 44, and 41 onwards. That is 3 stages are. Okay. We'll continue afterwards. Right to it up here. You just go through also. Then your mom, madam has taken and. Good.
You have the right to live among us citizens. No right to live among us. You have to hate it.
Wow.
जब जनता तो हाथ का आएंगे तो किसको क्या बोला है तो तू भी हाथ में बनी ठीक याद है